Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Legend of Zelda Let's Play here on the Heavy Physics channel. This is Link to the Past. Now that we completed the first dungeon of the Dark World, which is the Palace of Darkness, we now have access to the latter parts of the actual root of the Dark World using the magical hammer that we gained in the Dark Dungeon. Plus we gained the first crystal. Now, all you have to do here is we have to get out of the Palace of Darkness maze, which is a complete utter bastard. Anyway, just before I let you know, we're going to be doing a lot of collecting in this video, so a good portion of our collecting could actually end here. I know for a fact that we're probably going to be heading towards the next video, where it gets a little more complicated. You see, in the Link to the Past, in the Dark World, every dungeon has a difficulty setting. Hard to believe, but despite it being the first dungeon in the Dark World, it was actually a step up from the other dungeons that we'd seen already. For instance, first of all, the hardest dungeon in the Light World was actually the Tower of Hera. Surprisingly, the Palace of Darkness was a tricky place. So let's carry on. First off, we now have to pick up the we have to pick up the, now that we use the, palace... crap, what was I saying? Oh yeah, now that we have the magic hammer, these pegs here are no match for it. They automatically go down, giving us passage. Which means we also cut off which means we now can access a new part of the game. And essentially we can actually do whatever the heck we want, so... At this point, I suggest you take advantage of this and head into the water. Now, all you have to do here is equip the magic mirror. And once you do find the magic mirror, use it here on this island. It will take you, well, not onto that branch obviously, but there is actually a heart piece here you will pick up and need very desperately. Smack the guy there, you'll find the second piece of heart, we now have 11.5 heart pieces, although they don't recognize the half in this game, which actually would have been more interesting if they did. The health meter would be a very interesting tool, because it'll allow us to run as well. So, now that we've completed this part, what do we do here? I believe we're going to try and find our way out. Might I add, that ice palace there? Sad thing is, we can't access that later. We need an item, and we desperately need it. Which is that's the good news. The bad news is, we need to have a very powerful item at this point, so, what you can do, is head towards this point here, go back the way we came, obviously, which is outside the town, which of course, ladies and gentlemen, is outside the area of darkness. And you get to face off cronies and shit, so that's pretty much it. What you need to do here is that all the dungeons are actually accessible. The Palace of Darkness is obviously mandatory, because otherwise you have no idea what the heck you're doing. Which is kind of a sad thing, because, well, if you have no chance to access the thing, so let's try this out. I'm recording this on silence difficulty. No silence difficulty in general, but just nothing. We've already reached the 4-minute point, so where are we heading to now, you may ask? Well, I believe is because we now head towards the next part, which is, of course, we're heading towards the forest. And there's a red ruby, especially. In the Dark World, this is actually a treasure house. A bee? A bee? I think it actually came from this game. I'm just trying to remember. Well, the Nintendo Capri Sun signature. So, let's see. Right. Start smacking some bitches right now. At this point in the game, you'll probably want to take advantage of the that Light World portal that's between the two gaps. I think we're heading to that. No, we're not. I believe we're heading towards the village. I believe we are. It's very difficult in my mindset. I know for a fact that we'll be heading toward, at the end of this part, we'll have everything covered before part 2. When we get part 2, we'll be getting another key item, which made its debut in this game, and has become an established Legend of Zelda, well, regular, anyway. Use the Dark Mirror and make a portal here. Reason why is because we're in the wrong place. Actually, no, we're actually in the right... No, we actually are at the wrong place. Wrong place, wrong time. Typical my luck. I have this really bad feeling that, oh dear. Well, that's the first death of this Let's Play. Way to go, Einstein, way to go. There goes a fail moment, as you believe. But it wouldn't be a failed Let's Play without someone dying anyway. Use the magic mirror on this circle here, and you will find yourself in a cave. Yes, we are. Go inside this cave. Go inside this cave and you'll find another heart piece, taking our tally to 11 3/4 hearts, giving us the really impressive ability that I know is coming up soon. So, what you may ask yourself is next. Well, I believe we can actually solve some mysteries now. You know, just like Alice Scooby-Doo. No, we're not going to unmask some villain that says, I'll get you next time. I would have gone away with it if it wasn't for you blasted meddling kids. Anyway, this weird shape thing is actually the flute player back in the light world. So flower seeds, and we have to find it because it pretty much gives you the shovel. Now, we're only temporarily borrowing the shovel till we gain the item that's actually here. So, start digging. Because all you'll be doing is you'll be digging back in the light world. And this is what happens when you meet the guy. So essentially, he's a mysterious flute player that disappears into the darkness. But we all know the truth is that he's actually cursed. Just like everyone who's been in the dark world searching for the power of gold. Not very smart, are you? Anyway, we have to find... the disturbing thing is we have to find this guy's grave. And there's a problem with that. What problem is this? I have no fucking idea where his grave is. It's been years. The sooner I find the bloody thing, the better. Yeah, you'll probably find yourself that it's been a while since I played this. It's been a very long while, ever since I did an attempted long play of it for Cubex. Yeah, there was supposed to be a Legend of Zelda for the frickin' game, for the Game Boy. That was actually mine, but unfortunately, it kinda sucked. I knew I was doing, I actually got everything, but the problem was for that game is, I have no idea where the fucking flute is. Yeah, I kinda spoiled it. Yeah, I gotta look for this guy's flute he was buried with is actually right here. This one. There it is. What I hold now is the flute. This flute is a very important item, because now we get to experience another tragic death in the Legend of Zelda series. So essentially, we give him the flute, but he's about to die, so... so basically, you play the flute, like so. Play the flute. So yeah, it's a sad moment, because as soon as I play this, he dies. Play the flute. Yeah, I already played it. And that is the end of the flute player. Kinda sad, isn't it? Yeah, moving on from that tragedy. So, yes, let's carry on. Boinging ourselves into two different paths here. Because why not? And there's a fairy. Which I'll be using the flute actually takes the slot where the shovel was. So essentially, it's the 13th item in the game. Yeah, Legend of Zelda actually has 20 major items. 22 if you think about it. I believe we're heading towards the heading towards the alternate village. I think we are... Oh, I know where we're heading. Hate to say this is actually one of the hardest mini games in the Zelda series because, let me point this out. This guy has a lot of objects in his field, and you have to find. You can actually pick them up. Amongst this is a piece of heart. This is a very difficult piece of heart to get regularly in the games. You have to abuse the ring luck in this. When you do abuse the ring luck, you'll get tons of rewards. And I have no idea what the reward ratio is. Now, normally what you do is you just dig until you actually uncover the heart piece. The heart piece is actually very hard to find. It is one of the hardest things to find in the entire game. You have to basically abuse the save state function in order to get it. But that's kind of a freaking secret. Or at least that's how I do it. It is impossible. And I literally mean it is impossible, in my case, to get it while you're playing the cartridge. You have to do this again. It's 80 rupees, but if you get enough rupees to actually beat the game, you can actually get your monies back. So what you do here is that you start digging. You essentially start digging and pray to the love of Christ that amongst this path of diggage, you will find the heart piece. When we get this heart piece, folks, since we have 3 heart pieces, the last heart piece will give us a heart container, which will increase our health. So, I hope we can get it, because... Aha! There it is! Good! Thank God! We have our 12th heart container. Yes, we do. We have collected 48 heart pieces in total, if you go with the cumulative amount of lives in this game. Now that we have 12 hearts, I believe we have enough to move on to dungeon number 2 of the light world. To do that, though, we need to go back and get some extra items that we missed out. For instance, now that we have magic power, as you may have discovered, after Agni Heat merges the 2 worlds via the portal, a lot of his forces now roam the countryside. That's what we call dark times here on Zelda. Very dark time. Right, head towards the dwarf's house. Now that we have the magic potion, and not only the magic powder but the magic hammer, we can actually go get some. We can actually move on, hit this hammer peg here, stop it down, head down this hole, to find ourselves in the secret area. Yes, indeed. Now, this altar uses this is the reason why we need to use the magic powder. It will summon this bat familiar, and the bat familiar will be like, "Blast you!" I mean, thank you. He will now get his revenge. His revenge basically is an essential. You now have half your magic power is now cut in half. When I mean magic power cut in half, all the magic spells you have are now cut in half. This is a very important thing that you need to do here. As essentially, this will help you with future dungeons. I just thought we'd get this out of the way now, so that way we don't have to pretty much go back here later on when we do have a crisis. In other words, I'm gonna basically abuse the fuck out of basically the medallions. Speaking of the medallions, the final one's coming up, so we're gonna be heading towards where we need to go, which is essentially the swamplands, and that's pretty much it in terms of things that we'd be doing this Let's Play. The next dungeon is in the swamps, ladies and gentlemen. It is the swamp dungeon. In order to do so, we need to create this handy shortcut here through the stone here. Go down this way, like so. Because what we need to do is pick up a very useful and a very important final medallion, which will serve our purpose later and actually help us quite a bit. There's nothing like Coke. Sorry, there is. Anyway, you notice that in the dark world, the swamp, the desert is sealed off. It's something else in this. It's become something else in this game. So use the magic mirror here, and it'll take you back to a higher pedestal. Now, you saw this right in an earlier video, but you have no idea what to do. So use the Book of Medora, and now you receive the final medallion of the game, which is the Bombos Medallion. The Bombos Medallion is a powerful an exploder magic, taking the 8th slot, obviously. And that's gonna be all for this episode of Link to the Past. With the last dungeon out, with all preparations complete, we are all but assured that we're heading towards the next dungeon in the game, back in the swamps. See you then. Bye.